Welcome to Mamahood After Trauma, where we stop pretending and heal out loud. I'm Emily Cleghorn, trauma survivor, cycle breaker, and mama rebuilding from the inside out. If you're ready to break cycles, trust yourself again, and rise without shame, you're in the right place. Let's go. Before we dive in, I want to introduce you to something brand new. If you love the podcast and want a deeper connection to your healing, check out the monthly Peace Pack, a small trauma-informed tool delivered each month straight to your mailbox to help you find calm in the everyday. You'll also get access to our private Patreon community where mamas like you can share, support, and learn together. Sign up with the link in the show notes. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. I'm thrilled that you have taken some time out of your busy mama schedule to tune in and listen to our conversation today. Today, we are thrilled to be joined by Chelsea McLeod. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited about our conversation. So let's dive right in. Can you share a little bit of your story and how you came to work in the trauma recovery space?
So I had to heal myself before I was really in a place where I could help high-performing women and moms, right? And so,
Absolutely.
I spent 10 years burning the candle at both ends in corporate, and in the process, obviously slipped further and further away from the body, the energy, the health that I really wanted. And I found myself at a point where I was, taking meetings until 9 p.m. and then waking up at 6 a.m. for a call with finance in Shanghai and spending every other week on a plane. And I just looked down the barrel of a career where be in my SVP's seat in 3 years from now, but he's having panic attacks and is carrying 50 pounds of extra weight and oversees his kids. And I was like, you know what? That's not what I want. And so I went on a path of healing myself and of working with a practitioner to reverse things like type 2 with diabetes, which I somehow picked up as a, late 20 something healthy, quote unquote, person who was working out and doing all the things and eating salads. And in the process, my nervous system was so wrecked that I was just struggling with a bunch of things that were hormonal imbalances that I didn't realize were hormonal imbalances. And so, in the process of learning this wisdom myself, I'm so interested in helping women become more problem aware of when they have a hormonal imbalance. That's really explaining why they don't look and feel the way they want to. Because what I find is so many women, and especially moms who've had 2, 3 babies, just think that, oh, this is just how life is. I'm supposed to be exhausted. I'm supposed to be cranky. I'm supposed to have crazy crashes and cravings. And I'm here to tell you that there's so many ways to heal your hormones so that that's not the case.
Yeah. We normalize what we're experiencing as normal or how life's supposed to be because I guess that's the easier way to handle it. And modern Western medicine says, hey, you're fine. You're fine. So what was your journey like of reversing your hormonal imbalances and all of the symptoms that you were experiencing?
There were a couple different phases of that I think most relate to. The first is just tolerating discomfort for years. Like, just sleeping terribly for years and not feeling good for years and having crazy cravings and thinking that it's normal because everyone around you has the same thing. And so there was, probably 6 or 7 years where I just thought this was normal. And I was tornadoing around my house like a chicken with my head cut off, operating out of survival, not sleeping, eating like a rat over my kitchen sink every night. And I thought that was normal for the longest time. And then I realized that it's not. And I started to, there just comes a rock bottom point where I was just like, I can't zip my jeans. My skin is breaking out. It's worse than when I was a teenager. I've lost my cycle. I am exhausted all the time. I'm snapping at my colleagues, and I was managing a team at the time. And I was just like, this is not it. And it's interesting because during COVID is when my body was physically forced to slow down. And, I was stuck in this apartment. I was living in Melbourne, Australia at the time, which was one of the most strict lockdowns in the world. And in the process, I had to just be still with my thoughts and my emotions. In the process, I started working with actually a skin practitioner who it's so funny. I always call this the Trojan horse, where we go in for something like weight loss or skin. It's like something that's very vain that we're embarrassed to say we're trying to fix. But at the end of the day, we want to look good, right? And so for me, it was my skin. And she was also a naturopath, and a very, very gifted naturopath, because not all naturopaths are created equal, right? It's the same as any doctor, one who does any profession. Like some are very results driven and get incredible client results, and some don't. And she started just transforming me from the inside out. She changed the way I ate. She got me on some supplements that were very different than the stupid drugstore supplements I was taking, functional medicine, therapeutic supplements that were actually helping me sleep. They were actually helping me eliminate cravings. Like, it was so effective. And in the process of getting healthy, I lost all this weight, and I fixed my sleep, and my appetite for food totally changed, and my energy changed. My skin glowed up, and I just had this incredible transformation in a very compressed period of time. And after I did that, I was like, I don't understand why more women, and especially moms, don't know about this, because I think moms, because they're in a space of kind of self-sacrificing all the time and putting someone's needs above their own, it's really hard for them to put themselves first and invest in their own healing. But what I'm here to tell women is that this stuff doesn't have to be hard. It can be really simple, and it can also be effective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what was the going to the naturopath the first step for you?
No, babe, it was probably the last. Because, I'm a proactive person. I did the podcasts and the books and the blogs and the Instagram reels and the TikTok rabbit holes. Like, I tried it all. I really tried to DIY it, because I was like, I'm smart. I understand the health space. At the time I was teaching Soul Cycle, so I was like a fitness instructor. I was like, I can figure this out on my own. And it's not that you can't. I mean, you could DIY it. It's just not going to give results as fast as just working with someone who does this for a living, right? And so for me, I tried so many things, melatonin and supplements and all this stuff. And I was in circles. Like, I was just kind of picking up all these little pebbles instead of just letting a shepherd me to like the boulders that would actually make the biggest difference.
Yeah, what you're describing sounds like something I mentioned in a post I made recently about the beginning of my healing journey. Felt like I was walking around in a dark room that was riddled with firecrackers and trying to navigate the room without stepping on the firecrackers.
Yeah. I love that. That's such a good analogy. I'm here for it.
And, working with someone who's walked the journey is like having somebody hold the flashlight.
Totally.
And so what is the biggest outcome or the biggest problem? Let's start there. The biggest problem that you see women coming to you with. Do they come looking for a solution to a symptom and you guide them to the root cause, or how does that work?
It's typically a symptom or a collection of symptoms. Now, for moms specifically, what I see that as is it's often a weight issue coupled with something else, whether it's sleep and obviously, because you work with moms, it's like I'm not talking about brand new moms who have a child they're breastfeeding. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. we we can't really do anything for a mom who's being waken up four times a day. But what we can do something for is the mom who has a 2-year-old who is kind of starting to sleep. They might get woken up like once, but we can increase the quality of sleep they're getting. And so there's just different tweaks and lifestyle modifications that we can make that actually move the needle and help us create outcomes faster. So typically it's, weight plus sleep, or weight plus cravings, weight plus hair loss, weight plus fatigue is a really big one. And so what we do is, I work with clients in a very integrative capacity, because the way I see it is, if you go to a naturopath, they're going to give you some supplements and tell you to cut out gluten and dairy. And you're like, okay, but that's all I eat. So how do I actually how do I actually do that? How do I actually do that? So and it's the same with doctors and functional medicine doctors. It's like, we're not really coaching women through the skills that they need to learn to not only get these results quickly, but to maintain these results for life. And I always say it's a journey. It is a lifelong journey. I still have a health coach, and I am a health coach, and I meet with her once a month just to realign. The way I talk about it is we're like a pot on a kiln in pottery, where throughout the week, life gets lifey and the pot just becomes a little bit left of center. And then, something crazy happens over here. Then there's a divorce, then the kid gets sick, and then the pot's pointing in 5 different directions and swinging around the wrong way. And health coaching just helps recenter you. It just helps back on track. So even after you've done the first couple months and really gotten that result, it's it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey, because health isn't really a destination, right? It's not you lose the 10 pounds and then you're good. It's you are always learning and refining and navigating different segments of your life.
Absolutely. So what are 3 tips that you would give a listener who is listening and is like, yeah, I'm always tired and I would like to lose a little bit of extra poundage? What could she do today or this week that would help her move forward on her journey?
Before we get into any of the hacks, the tools, the tips, which I have some, don't worry, just hang tight. We have to get clear on what result we're trying to create and why. And this is so important, because a lot of women don't want to change. They're like, oh, it would be nice to see my waistline again and to have my libido back, but I don't really want it that bad. My life's fine as it is. So they accept where they're at. So first we have to say, how would I rather life be? How do I want to feel?
Yeah.
How do I want to look? And that's not a number on a scale. Sure, you can have a weight goal. Generally, I want to release the 50 pounds that I gained after having a baby, which is a very common number, by the way. And I have so many clients who are lower than their baby weight. They're lower than their college weight. They're lower than their wedding weight, because they're healthy and whole and they've done the work on their hormones. But that aside, it's why do you want to change? Why is the rest important to you? Why is the weight loss important to you? Because, if you just want to look good in a bathing suit on a boat, that's a very different thing than, I want to lose this weight because I want to spend more time on this planet with my kids without disease. I want to have a healthy relationship with my husband. I want to feel really good about myself so that I can perform at work. I need my energy to be higher so that I can expand my business, to make my podcast more visible, to make myself feel more visible being on social media if you own a business. We have to really dig back the layers of why we want this result in the first place, because it's a lot easier to affect the behavior change if you're clear that piece right there.
Yeah, it's really hard to go for something when you're not clear on your why.
100%. The what and the why. It's we have to have that. That's setting the GPS. Otherwise, you're just floating around, driving around to nowhere. And so once a woman has done that little piece, they can start to make little lifestyle shifts that start to move the needle. And one really, it's some people are very resistant to this, but I've had so many clients say, I was really scared about doing this. I didn't think I could. But as soon as I did, things really started to shift. Is just little things like moving coffee after breakfast and, having a bedtime for your phone, putting the phone away 30 minutes before you get into bed and keeping it outside the bedroom. I know that seems impossible, but doing that, and then waiting to touch your phone 30 minutes after you wake up, just to keep your hormones and your cortisol balanced. things like having regularly scheduled meal times, learning a sustainable system of eating where you're not cutting out any full food groups, but you're just focusing on specific high vibe foods that help you look and feel the way you want to. So those are a couple little hacks that women can use. And
Mhm.
especially moms, like they don't have a lot of time. So it's really important that what they're doing is effective. So just making sure that
Absolutely.
like carb, protein, and fat at every single meal. I find a lot of moms are just protein deficient. So making sure you have like, big batch proteins made up every week or having them delivered, a roasted rotisserie chicken or, ground beef is a big fan favorite for a lot of my moms because they just chuck it in a pan. They don't need to add anything, salt, pepper, a little chili powder, and then that just sits in the fridge and they can put it in salads and bowls. Like really beefing up your protein to help you keep you satiated can be really helpful.
Yeah, that protein is huge, especially when you're a mama and you're chasing after little people and you need to keep going.
That's right.
Uh, so how can our mamas connect with you if they would like to do so?
I have a podcast called It's Not You, It's Your Hormones. And there's one specific podcast in there for new moms. I can share with you that link if it's helpful. I also have a 15-minute hormone balance reset session where moms can just come on and share a little bit about what's going on with them. And I can let them know if I think their hormones are at the root of their current struggles. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And I can usually ask you a couple questions to ascertain that. And then I'll give you one little micro shift that you can make to start healing your hormones and starting to see those results come through.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, Chelsea. It was a pleasure talking to you.
So much fun. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Mamahood After Trauma. Take one insight from today, breathe, reflect, and keep healing out loud. Subscribe to the podcast for more stories, tools, and support. And remember, Mama, you're breaking cycles and rising with honesty. Until next time, mend the past so you can mama in peace.